Let us therefore set out wholeheartedly, leaving aside our many distractions, and exert ourselves in this single purpose, before we realize too late the swift and unstoppable flight of time and are left behind. As each day arises, welcome it as the very best day of all, and make it your own possession. We must seize what flees. Seneca. Seneca tells us to live each day fully, without distractions. He encourages us to give our all to what's important before time moves too fast, and treat each day as the best, like it belongs to us. So the quote asks us, are we going to live our life fully today? Will we face it with determination, saying, we can handle whatever comes our way, and striving to do our absolute best? Or will we let today slip through our fingers and become a distant memory, one where we can't even remember doing anything meaningful? This wisdom is an invitation to reflect about how we want to look back on today when it becomes yesterday. In simple terms, Seneca reminds us that each day is a unique opportunity, and we should treat it as such. We should engage with life, tackle challenges, and make the most of the time we have, so that when we look back, we can say, yes, we truly lived that day to the fullest. The greatest portion of peace of mind is doing nothing wrong. Those who lack self-control live disoriented and disturbed lives. Seneca. People who have run away from the law and then decide to give up and turn themselves in might make us wonder why they would do that. They were free, staying ahead of trouble, but they chose to give that up. It turns out that the stress and guilt of living as a fugitive become even worse than the fear of losing freedom, like they're trapped in their own kind of prison. The reason they do it is that the weight of guilt becomes too much to bear, and they want to clear their conscience, even if it causes pain. The same idea applies to people who do wrong things. When we look at the lives of those who ignore ethics and discipline, we often see chaos and unhappiness following them. This quote explains that the consequences of doing wrong aren't just about getting in trouble with society. They actually bring a lot of personal suffering too. Even small-time criminals sometimes confess but don't always keep to it. They realize living that way is too hard. So Seneca emphasizes that we should find peace by doing what's right. This desire for inner calm and contentment is something we should share too. Let us also produce some bold act of our own and join the ranks of the most emulated. Seneca. In old Greece and Rome, politicians would say things to be liked, like how they do now. They try to make people happy by talking well about their country or its success. This isn't new. Even in the past, politicians did this. Demosthenes from ancient times noticed people loved hearing about past achievements near important places. They'd stand by special places and talk about how great their ancestors were. But what's the point of all this praise? Surprisingly, it doesn't really do much. In fact, this isn't always good, as it can distract us from their true purpose. But he believed these stories are to make us better, not just amazed. We should learn from them and get inspired to improve, like important lessons that until now are still powerful. Seneca, who authored the quote, shared the same idea. He believed the quotes you read, including his own, are like valuable trophies from history. They shouldn't just be appreciated briefly and then forgotten. Instead, they are meant to guide us in living better lives. What's the point of having countless books and libraries whose titles could hardly be read through in a lifetime? The learner is not taught, but burdened by the sheer volume, and it's better to plant the seeds of a few authors than to be scattered about by many. Seneca. This quote is saying that having countless books and libraries doesn't necessarily make us smarter or wiser. It's like questioning the idea of winning a prize for reading the most books before we die. Even if we read a book every single day, which is a lot, our collection of books would still be much smaller than what's available digitally. We can't keep up with the endless flood of new books being published all the time. The quote means reading isn't about many books, but how well we understand and what we put into life. Instead of rushing through everything, we should focus on a few, understand and apply them deeply in our lives. This way, we'll learn more and gain wisdom than from trying to tackle an endless pile of them. Nothing will ever befall me that I will receive with gloom or a bad disposition. I will pay my taxes gladly. Now, all the things which cause complaint or dread are like the taxes of life, things from which, my dear Lucilius, you should never hope for exemption or seek escape. Seneca. This wisdom is saying that taxes are like something we can't avoid, just like other things in life we might not like. When we pay taxes, the money helps things we use daily, like roads and schools. Complaining about taxes can make us forget the good they do. Plus, consider this. It's better to earn enough to pay taxes than to struggle or live in chaos just to survive. But taxes aren't only about money and the government. Life also has its own taxes. Like when we wait, we miss opportunities. That's like a tax. Taxes are also in the form of gossip and rumors that can hurt our reputation in public. Even in our happiest relationships, taxes come up as disagreements that take a toll on happiness. Also, when we have fancy and cool things, the tax is the possibility of loss, misplacement, or jealousy and success with stress on our achievements. With this idea, life indeed has tough parts, like challenges, and Seneca calls them taxes. He says we can't avoid them, so don't seek to escape. Remember, these Seneca's quotes unearth a treasure trove of guidance that encourages self-awareness, moral rectitude, and the cultivation of inner strength. With that, this is once again Powerful Quote. Thank you for watching. Until next time.